The midday news on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya with you. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor Angela Merkel are holding a summit-level talks, that is our top focus this afternoon. That story and much more coming up ahead. Let us start with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, German Chancellor Angela Merkel hold summit talks, co-chair 5th intergovernmental consultations, likely to sign 20 agreements today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to represent India at the SCO meet in Tashkent underscores benefits from the forum in the fields of economic cooperation and counter-terrorism. Home Ministry denies reports of a final pact with the Naga groups, says talks yet to conclude with insurgent groups, assures all stakeholders, including ASEAN, Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh, will be consulted before settlement. Delhi's air quality drops to emergency category. PM 2.5, PM 10 levels cross a 500 mark. Pollution Control Authority declares public health emergency. Bans construction till 5th of November. Bursting of crackers through winters. And US House of Representatives approves procedure to impeach President Donald Trump. White House terms the move unfair and unconstitutional. Donald Trump calls it the greatest witch hunt in America. The top story this afternoon: on a two-day visit to India, German Chancellor Angela Merkel is holding bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House. And both leaders will talk on a number of bilateral issues, and nearly 20 agreements are expected to be signed between the two countries, including on museum cooperation, football, agriculture, development and social security. Angela Merkel will co-chair 5th Intergovernmental Consultations, that is IGC, with Prime Minister Modi, following which the two leaders will make press statements. And during the IGC, both the leaders will discuss deepening of cooperation in transport, skill development and energy, and explore possibilities for cooperation in newer areas as well, like green urban mobility and artificial intelligence. And earlier in the day, Angela Merkel was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And speaking to reporters, Merkel said that Germany shares a very close relationship with India, and both nations will sign a number of agreements signifying their broad-based ties. Angela Merkel will also call on President Ramnath Kovind in the evening, and on Saturday, the German leader will meet a business delegation and also visit Continental Automotive Components India in Manesar in Gurgaon. And earlier, Merkel was welcomed by MOS Jitendra Singh on Thursday, and she's accompanied by officials of nearly 12 ministries and also a high-power business delegation. In a tweet, the MES spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that the 5th meeting between the two leaders will further enrich the strategic tenure of Indo-Germany relations. So what do these talks really mean for us? Let's get a perspective. Akhilesh Suman is now joining us on the phone line. A very good afternoon, Akhilesh. So as Prime Minister Modi welcomed Angela Merkel at the Rashtrapati Bhavan this morning, she said that Germany and India are linked by very close ties. The two leaders are holding formal talks, and this being their 5th meeting in this year. So how do you expect, develop the results really from these summit-level talks?
Germany and India has a, biennial intergovernmental commission meeting every 2 years, but it is not the last thing. Every 6 months, they are reviewing their relationship, they are reviewing their economic relationship. And if you say that in last 1 year, they have met almost five times, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Angela Merkel. So in that way, every nitty-gritty between the two countries are being discussed continuously, and whatever obstacles are there, they are being removed. And one of the best things that politically, both countries are converging with each other. Economically, they are very keen because Germany and India are both fast-growing economies. Germany is the fastest-growing economy in European Union, and India, in European Union, India's largest trade partner is Germany. And there are many fields that New India, what Prime Minister Narendra Modi envisages, Germany can be very helpful in New India mission and New India dream. So in that way, Germany is offering so many things like, artificial intelligence, even in agriculture, in healthcare, people-to-people contact. And now Germany is learning English from the very primary school. So language will not be a hiccup between the relationship of India and Germany. And there are scientific temper in both the countries. Germany is very keen to align with India in human resource development also. Science cooperation between India and Germany is going to go deep, and we are expecting that almost 20 agreements are going to be signed in this summit level meeting. And after the summit level meeting that is going on now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor Angela Merkel are again meeting in the evening at Prime Minister's official residence, and they will also fine-tune some of the major strategic interests of both India and Germany in the world. So I think this is one of the major relationship between India and Germany as far as European Union concerned. And you remember that when Masood Azhar's declaration as an international terrorist was being hampered by China time and again, it was Germany who also took a lead, and now this time Masood Azhar was declared international terrorist. That was very close to the demand of India. So I think India and Germany relationship are going to be much deeper after this summit level meeting, Aishwarya.
All right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates and perspective on that story. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Thailand from 2nd to 4th of November. And during the visit, he will attend the 16th ASEAN India, 14th East Asia and 3rd Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Summits to strengthen the regional cooperation in key areas such as trade, maritime security and connectivity. Prime Minister Modi will be visiting Bangkok at the invitation of Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. Prime Minister Modi will arrive in Bangkok on the evening of the 2nd of November and he will address the Indian community at the National Indoor Stadium in Bangkok. And then on 3rd of November, Prime Minister Modi will participate in a business event and then co-chair the ASEAN-India Summit with the Thai Prime Minister. He will also attend the East Asia Summit, a platform where the leaders hold discussions on various developments in the region. Prime Minister Modi's final engagement in Thailand will be the RCEP Summit, and he will also hold a number of bilateral meetings during the visit.
Strengthening ASEAN and ASEAN-led mechanisms, enhancing connectivity, whether it is sea, land, air, digital, people-to-people, deepening our economic partnership, enhancing cooperation in the digital domain, including cybersecurity, and improving maritime cooperation are some of the key themes of India-ASEAN cooperation. Prime Minister has 3 important engagements. Prime Minister will attend a special lunch hosted by the Thai Prime Minister for the leaders of the East Asia participating countries, and the leaders in this platform will exchange views on progressing the global sustainable development agenda. The agenda for the forthcoming East Asia Summit is to review the future direction of EAS cooperation and exchange views on regional and international issues. The final engagement of Prime Minister will be the RCEP Summit, where leaders will review the state of negotiations, which are ongoing in Bangkok currently and over the next few days. In addition, on the sidelines of the summit, Prime Minister will also have a number of bilateral meetings.
And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will represent India at the 2-day meeting of the Council of Heads of Governments of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, that is the SCO, in Tashkent beginning Friday. The meeting is intended to further India's association with the SCO members, which will help in greater economic cooperation and also counter-terrorism cooperation, among several other things. The leaders participating in this meeting in Tashkent are expected to focus their discussions on the multilateral economic cooperation and economic development in the SCO region. Rajnath Singh will also have bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the SCO meet. The SCO is an influential regional security grouping which is seen as a counterweight to NATO. It will be the third CHG meeting of the SCO after India became a member of the grouping in 2017. The last two CHG meetings were held in Sochi in Russia in 2017 and in Tajikistan in 2018. And back home, quashing media reports as false, the Home Ministry on Thursday dismissed reports that the Naga Accord has been finalized. The development came just as the 31st of October deadline set by the centre on a final settlement with the Naga armed groups was about to lapse. Now, as talks to find a lasting solution to the seven-decade-old insurgency problem in Nagaland continued for the fourth consecutive day on Thursday, with the centre's interlocutor and Nagaland Governor R.N. Ravi holding discussions with the NSCNM. The Home Ministry in a statement clarified that it is yet to conclude talks with the Naga insurgent groups. The ministry also assured that all stakeholders, including the states of Assam, Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh, will be duly consulted and their concerns will be taken into consideration before a final peace accord is signed. On to some other news, India has submitted the first official list of 480 pilgrims visiting the Kartarpur Sahib Gurudwara on 9th of November to Pakistan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the state-of-the-art passenger terminal building at Dera Baba Nanak in Punjab on 9th of November. Now, giving information about the preparations for the inaugurations of the newly constructed Kartarpur corridor between India and Pakistan, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that the issue of increasing the daily number of devotees has been raised with Pakistan. And Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan has announced several concessions for Indian pilgrims going to Kartarpur Sahib Gurudwara. In a tweet, he announced that the pilgrims would not need a passport and they will not have to register 10 days in advance. He also waived off the fee on the day of inauguration and on Guru Nanak's 550th birthday. Both countries had agreed to allow 5,000 pilgrims every day and had also decided that the corridor would be operational throughout the year and 7 days a week.
Around 450 plus 31 member delegation, so around 480 people. We had shared this list with the Pakistani High Commission. We had requested that visas may be granted to them, and perhaps this is for the first time that Pakistan, which tries to project as if they are trying to facilitate the Sikh pilgrimage, we have not heard from them. In fact, we hear that the visas will not be granted. We feel that this is a disrespect to the sentiments of the pilgrims.
News from Jammu and Kashmir, and the Minister of External Affairs said on Thursday that the visit by EU MPs to Kashmir was not at all internationalization of the issue. And such delegations do not necessarily have to come through official channels. In its first comments on the issue, the ministry also said that the point was whether such an engagement serves a larger national interest.
This is what MEA is expected to do. This is what we have been doing. This is part of our engagement with other countries and think tanks, media. And if I heard what you heard from the members of European Parliament after their visit, I think it is the issue of cross-border terrorism, the role of Pakistan in the cross-border terrorism, which got international opinion. And I think, if you look at what we have done, I think on many occasions, engagement with the diplomatic community is not internationalizing the issue. External Affairs Minister has spoke at different forums in the US, across several platforms. That is not internationalizing. We are supposed to share our perspectives on a certain issue, and we are supposed to share that with different groups of people who would like to get that perspective. So that definitely is not the intent. It is not a question of ceding ground at all. We feel that this is feeding into the larger objective, larger interest which we have.
And in more news on Jammu and Kashmir, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, that is the CBDT, on Thursday extended the deadline for filing of income tax returns to 30th of November in the newly created Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. The policy-making body for the Income Tax Department issued an order stating that on consideration of reports of disturbances in internet facility in certain areas of Jammu and Kashmir, the CBDT further extends the due date for filing of ITRs and tax audit reports to 30th of November in respect of all categories of income tax assessees in the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. It said that the ITRs filed by individual taxpayers post the set deadline of 31st of August will be considered valid till 30th of November. Remember, internet facilities had been clamped down in Jammu and Kashmir following the centre's decision to abrogate provisions of Article 370 on 5th of August. Jammu and Kashmir has been bifurcated into the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh from Thursday. And India hit out at China over its rhetoric on Jammu and Kashmir. The Ministry of External Affairs urged China to refrain from commenting on India's internal matters, stating that India doesn't comment on internal affairs of other countries and expects China to do likewise. Addressing a media briefing, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are integral parts of India. He added that China has illegally occupied part of India, before expressing concerns about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project. Now, this statement of the MEA spokesperson follows the statement of the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson in which he had described the division of Jammu and Kashmir as illegal and unnecessary.
China is well aware of India's consistent and clear position on this issue. The matter of reorganization of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir into the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh is entirely an internal affair of India. We do not expect other countries, including China, to comment on the matters which are internal to India, just as India refrains from commenting on internal issues of other countries. The Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are integral part of India. We expect other countries to respect India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. China continues to be in the occupation of a large tract of area in the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. It has also illegally acquired Indian territories from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir under the so-called China-Pakistan Boundary Agreement of 1963. India has consistently conveyed its concerns to both China and Pakistan on the projects in so-called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is in the territory that has been illegally occupied by Pakistan since 1947.
And on to some other news now. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu reconstituted 8 House committees on Thursday. Now, BJP's Prabhat Jha will head the Ethics Committee of Rajya Sabha. He replaces his party colleague Narayan Lal Pancharya. And BJD's Prasanna Acharya was named as the chairman of the Committee on Petitions, replacing Jha. T. Subbarami Reddy of the Congress was named the chairman of the Committee on Subordinate Legislation. A. Navneet Krishnan has been named as the chairman of the Committee on Government Assurances. Om Prakash Mathur of the BJP has been appointed chairman of the House Committee. As per rules of the House, Rajya Sabha chairman heads the Business Advisory Committee and the Committee on Rules, and by convention, the deputy chairman heads the Committee on Privileges. The new members of the Business Advisory Committee of the Rajya Sabha now are B.K. Hariprasad, Narayan Lal Pancharya, Vinay P. Sahasrabuddhe and K. Keshavar Rao. And the new members of the Committee on Rules include Satyanarayan Jatia, Swapan Das Gupta and Y.S. Chaudhary, P.L. Punya, Naresh Gujral, Subhash Chandra and Amar Singh. News from the national capital, and a thick blanket of toxic haze has enveloped the national capital post-Diwali. The air quality of Delhi entered the emergency category last night, with the overall AQI breaching the 500 mark late night on Thursday, and this morning at 8:30 a.m. the capital's overall air quality index stood at 459. The Environment Pollution Prevention and Control Authority has declared a public health emergency in the national capital. The authority has extended a ban on the construction till 5th of November and also banned the bursting of crackers through winters. All the 37 air quality monitoring stations across Delhi recorded the air quality in the severe category on Friday. Neighboring Ghaziabad, Noida and Greater Noida also breathed extremely polluted air. Weather experts have said that increased wind speed due to fresh western disturbance approaching the northern region would help disperse pollutants faster from Saturday. And Cyclone Maha, the fourth cyclone this year in the Arabian Sea, has further intensified into very severe cyclonic storm over Lakshadweep and adjoining Southeast Arabian Sea and the Maldives area. According to the Met Department, like to moderate rainfall at most places with heavy to very heavy falls at a few places, and extremely heavy falls are likely over Lakshadweep Islands, Kerala, coastal Karnataka and South Tamil Nadu. And Kerala administration has shifted over 1,000 people to 11 relief camps. Sea conditions will remain tough over the next 24 hours, and fishermen have been asked not to venture into the sea till Saturday until the cyclonic storm subsides. And now our special segment on environment and climate change. On National Leopard Day on 23rd of October, the government launched a national level protocol called the Snow Leopard Population Assessment to estimate the population of snow leopards in the Himalayan ranges. The aim is to double the number of snow leopards in the next decade by promoting conservation. This initiative is a part of the global population assessment of the world's snow leopards, which aims to have an estimate of the snow leopard population by 2022. In India, snow leopards mainly inhabit the higher and the trans-Himalayan region spread across Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. It contributes to about 5% of the global snow leopard population. The main sources of threat for the snow leopards are climate change,